Ick number 7. This is probably my fault, but I realized after I bought this that there was absolutely no Greek mythology besides the names, which were very weird, like what I thought gods were immortals, not jobs. There was no powers or anything that involved what a good Greek mythology retelling needs. Let's do some 1-star review. Okay, seriously, look at, I was gonna do more than one. I was gonna do a few, but this one's pretty long and it's freaking hilarious. So let's just read this one. Now, of course, as you see, I got neon gods here, so I had to pick a book that was gonna be 1-star. And you heard the thing: no powers. The Greek gods were jobs. That was the first one. Come on now. I told you this book was horrible. Let's go. Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, is anyone surprised that this is one of the most recommended books in the history of overhyped books? I'm not. Laughing my ass off. Second of all, Hades and Persephone's again. I like the Hades Persephone Touch of Darkness though. So, how many more do we need? You know, we have other gods, right? There are over 12 gods to choose from. At this point, I read a Medusa retelling. At this point, I'd read a Medusa retelling. I probably would too. That's funny. Any originality for the love of all that is sacred. I am starving over here. You guys were like, yeah, I know. At least the smut was good. Bitch, what? The smut is good? Where? Where is the smut good? After the first time he makes her come, she literally says, that orgasm was good. With the same enthusiasm someone would say, the chicken is ready, laughing my ass off. And Hades, the simp, the limp noodle we have as a character here, who shows her his playroom on chapter 7, like he's a wish copy of Christian Grey, right? Followed by the sentence, I like kinky stuff. It has the same level of cringe as Christians. I don't make love, I fuck hard. You incompetent swine. If you have to tell me you like it kinky, or if you have to tell me how good you are in bed instead of actually showing, you are making me drier than the Sahara Desert. Jeez, she's killing it over here. All right, let's go to the next part. Let's start with the fact that the book is supposed to be a modern retelling of Hades and Persephone, where for some reason Olympus has a Starbucks. True, it did. Persephone has a trust fund, and she wants to go to California to get a PhD at Berkeley because that is the way she can. Because that is the way she can, wait for it, escape her arranged marriage with Zeus. In the world, in what freaking world do those go together? Like it's totally normal for an arranged marriage with Zeus and going to college to exist in the same universe and make sense. Laugh my ass off. So yes, the world building was non-existent and absolute garbage. I 100% agree with everything this person said so far. Let's keep going. I wish she had kept the regular fantasy magic system instead of destroying her own book like this by making it laughable. 100% agree, because there was no power whatsoever. Just because you decide to use the word neosporin in your book, it doesn't mean it's a modern retelling, Kate. However, for some unknown reason, the characters talk to each other like it's the 1800s. True, and he kept saying, "My little pretty." That drove me nuts. My little pretty, like he sounded like an old witch. That's what he sounded like to me. She could have changed their names and turned this book into a mafia romance for all I care. Anything else would have been fine about it. See, that's exactly what I said. Had she made this just to use the names but say they're not gods and make it a normal story, it might have been a good book. But you chose to use the gods' demeanor, um, and it just destroyed the book. It destroyed the book because you used gods that weren't gods; they were jobs, like she said. Um, you know something else that pisses me off? Probably a lot. Like this book pissed me off. Hades is a pre-made character. He is literally a 3-minute microwavable meal. The character traits are there. The god of the dead and the keeper of the underworld. pop him in the oven, and bam, you got yourself a morally gray character. It is the easiest thing in the world to get it right, and they turn Hades into this whiny, weak, insecure, pathetic, cringe character that lacks the self control and becomes a lovesick puppy with 6 chapters. It is so underwhelming. That's true. That's true. That's what I said. His character was absolute horrible. There was no dominance in it. Like the way they made this, where he was supposed to be like Christian Grey, like a dom, sex dom, and he was. It was horrible. He was, even if you wanted to make him that, you couldn't. He was. It was. It is insulting. The day you give me a Hades worth reading about is the day I will be reading another Hades and Persephone's tale. Probably never. Honorable mentions to the particular Hades having a foot fetish because he spends 20 chapters obsessed over the fact she twisted her ankle in chapter 2 and he never got over it. You'll get to hear him yell at her about her foot 16 times. He is also the guy who yells at her to eat, yells at her to remember to breathe. It's the distinguished concern that came from an instant love relationship. Anyway, she crosses the river to where Hades is. They decide to start sleeping together because she believes Zeus would no longer want her if she was damaged goods, and the way she could escape the arranged marriage. In the world, in this world, Zeus is a perv. Yep, true. And an ugly old man who kills all his wives when he gets bored of them. The way the world building was put together, he will be the next California serial killer since Olympus is that close. All right, we got one more. I think it is. Yep, this is the last part. She slapped my ass off. Get it? Anyways, as for Persephone, she gets one line from me. Waste of space. Another goddess people butcher when they write their books. Y'all really skipped history. These guys were brutal, selfish, unyielding, mischievous, and you give me a white girl with a Starbucks addiction. Laughing my ass off. The book does not deserve this much time from me. Awful. Jesus Christ, the worst copy fanfic inspired by 50 Shades of Grey you could possibly read. My first and last Kate book. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. 100% agree with everything she said. Dang, this turned into a long video, but look at that's why I said we're only going to do, because this review was longer, so we'll just do this one review for this one. We'll pick a book. Maybe we'll do this like once or twice a week. We'll pick up another book. Another book that could be a 1-star book, like freaking the Vampire Werewolf one that I just read, that was freaking just as bad. But yeah, so peace.